Welcome back, guys. We're going to be hitting another character. We're now 2 deep into a streak, and so our hope is that we see some interesting gameplay from another random character type. So let's get this going. Let's see what we have. A human ice elementalist. So this is definitely a new combo. We will give this one a go. Now humans actually don't. You'd think you'd play human a lot, but I don't actually play human that much. So the note with humans are they regain HP and MP as you explore. Exploring new spaces gives you some regeneration naturally. I wonder how that relates to Abyss. Are you exploring new spaces and therefore you're always regenning walking around in Abyss? That's something that would be interesting. And my understanding of humans is their aptitudes are largely just zeroed out. Yeah, they do. They have good invocations, so they're good at worshiping gods that require invocation. Um, but they're just a mundane class or race type. That is, species type. And that's about it. Now we are an ice mage to start. I have not had much experience with ice. To be honest, I've always been hesitant to go ice mage because the spells require people to be in close to you, and that to me just naturally scares me, particularly early game. But I guess we got the random luck of being an ice mage. So my assumption with this is that I'm going to want to be a beefy caster. And then maybe ice, we go off of ice at some point, or I don't know. I'm going to keep the stealth going. Stealth never hurts, especially when you get a +1. I'll maybe cap it off at 5 for now. I'll keep fighting pumping. We'll keep ice mage and spell casting pumping. And then we'll see what weapons we get to see if that ends up being like a battle caster or a warrior caster type or something. But we got to be very careful here with ice. So let's get this going. Now, there's no innate like I can fly or I can swim with this character. So we're gonna live off our weapons and our inventory. Jeez, that took forever to say. And we're going to take this real slow. Ice, it's about carefully controlling your engagements so that you don't get overwhelmed with people in your face. So that was our first kill. It was freeze. If you noticed freeze, you have to be beside the character. So I'm going to pick up this axe. I mean, it's tempting just to be like, okay, I'm a human with an axe. Let's just become melee. Who cares that we started off with, ice magic at 4, And to be honest, I can't argue with that strategy. But I'm going to at least commit for the first level as we are. Now, as we saw there, it's like, oh, why didn't you rest and get your mana back? Isn't that super risky? But we're human. We get MP and health back as we explore new spaces. So there is that kind of freedom, at least to start. You don't want to live off that later on. Recovering some amount of HP or mana won't save you from a depths, blink fest like we saw last game, but it's certainly relevant. It's the race species ability. You gotta appreciate it when you get use out of it. Like any initial level of a quote-unquote branch, you got to be very careful. You don't have very many exit paths. It's not like you have a floor to jump down to. Theoretically, you can rush a downstairs to get D2 set up. Anyway, we now have a sling. Ooh, and there's a staff up here. Alchemy staff. So this will be very relevant. So I'm going to probably default to the staff as my offensive weapon. And so this character might be the magical swap to Lajatang because he's a caster. He likes a staff. But we'll see. What was I saying? Oh, now we have a sling, so we can at least hit things from a distance, and then they come in close, and then we have our ice magic. So there's some potential here. So at least they're almost dead by the time they get to me, and then I have a powerful close-up magic. See, that's a good combination of abilities for a D1. So we have some sort of blue ring. So this ring probably gives me the same defenses as the chain, with a little bit more support for casting. So we're at 3 freezing, 3% with freezing. If we were to throw on the robe, we'd get significantly more defense, and we're up to 12% chance. Honestly, that's not too bad. 3 to 12, roughly 1 in 10 chance of failing a cast versus essentially never failing a cast. I'll try to hold off until we're like, you know, sub 10%, and then I'll swap to that ring mail. But that's a very good little pickup to start. I'm going to swap to the staff. So there's a trade-off of doing int versus strength because I'm still unsure of my character, and also there's a chance I end up just needing strength with Lajatang. I'm going to build on strength while I have the opportunity. Slings are very great. Break out of this so we have some options. I'm not really liking what we're doing. Thankfully, these guys are very slow moving. They will net you every so often, but usually it's not at the rate at which it matters for escaping. I'm going to go straight. Okay. Okay, D2 done. We're still unable to cast with accuracy any of our other ices, but we're getting close. I suspect we'll still only be 12 or whatever percent that was. 10. We're at 10% with the mail on. I think that's a safe point. So I'll just use the mail now, and now we have at least reasonable defenses up close, to be more of a natural froster. Oh, we got an orc priest really early. I guess I have to start thinking about, am I going to be bow? I do not feel confident being bow as an ice mage. Honestly, I don't know when I would ever feel confident as bow. Maybe if I have some like really overpowered character building and we get the choice of bow at like D6 or something. But the point is this guy can smite us to death in like 2 shots, and so I'm going to get out of here. We got a helmet. It's going to be at least nice as a human. unlike our Tengu, where I can use all slots of armor up to whatever I care about. Um, when you play odd races that have like weird mutational adjustments innate to their class or their race, um, it warps your item usage. I hope it's the same priest because we've got a lot of priests if that's not the same one. Anyway, it's just nice to be able to be like, okay, an item dropped. Can I use it? Interesting. So we have a Kiku altar. Um, Ice does sync well with Necro. Of the spell schools, Necro and Ice seem to have some synergy. Simulacrum, I think, is top of mind. Now, I haven't been Necro in ages. To be honest, once Necro got nerfed in, like, was that like the mid 0.20s, it's just never felt good to me. But there's a scenario where we are Necro. Do we want to make this our Necro character? We would be getting our altar at D3, which is nice to get it early. You get an extra few levels of, you know what? Today we're playing Ice Necro. Yeah. This should be interesting. Stealth is a little bit less relevant when you have a horde of undead with you, but I'll keep up the till 5, I suppose. I'm going to get my armor pumping, and we'll take it from there. I don't have any necro spells yet. Oh, I guess it's worth noting with this mail, I can't really cast any of my other ice spells yet, but I don't know. It might be worth it to go back to that robe. I'm not sure. These defenses, though, are so good. And to be able to still cast freeze, I mean, I don't know. That's dangerous. I don't have fire resist. Oops, I meant to do this. Our priest friend, I'm going to back away. Maybe try to leash. Okay, we took care of him. We have a Trog temple altar. Put some gloves on. I'm going to drop this chainmail. Oh, we would have had a random here. It'd be funny to see what it was. Vamit, Dith, and Makleb. I'm fine. We're okay. Alright. Other than the fire beetle, D3 is done. We don't have any front runners for our random identifications. We have a 3 black potion. That's probably going to be a good one, but you can never assume. Our ice is still pretty capped. But yeah, it's nice getting our Kiku up earlier than later. It'll help us get things started a little early. This is a nice little whip for melee. I will make this my official B for now, and I'll move my staff. Well, it's already W. So if I'm in melee range, I have no mana left for my frost spell. I'll swap, and ooh, that's not too bad either. 12 damage versus 11. That's kind of interesting. Ooh, this is rough. I'm gonna try to run, so hopefully its speed doesn't catch me up. And I'm gonna try a different stair. Never want to do something you're not comfortable with early. Well, there's an early Fetus. That would have been fun. And here's our temple. A D4 temple. This would have been an early temple as well. Well, never hurts to look. I'm going to jump down. Obviously, we have a lot of elk here. We would have had some good choices. Perhaps I would have gone like a... maybe a Fetus, or... not too sure. Maybe Sif, because we're a caster type. Anyway, let's pop down. Okay, keep clearing away. We've got a wizard. The confusion is never fun, so I'm gonna back away. He's been invising. I don't want to whack away at an invis guy this early in the game. He'll eventually appear, and we will be able to engage again. Here you go. So you see I can't see him, but it says use Z to cast anyways, and then you can target a location. We're starting to approach the ability to cast other spells. And look at that. We've gotten our first free Necro items. I'm not necessarily going to force Necro early when we have Ice as an option here. At least to begin. I'll lightly start researching Necro. I just really want to establish a strong Ice presence. Unlock those spells with my current armor. And then go from there. I'm satisfied with my other options if I can't immediately cast freeze or anything. I've got good support so far. So we have a scare. I'm not concerned with the adder, but the ogre is what I'm concerned about. So I'm going to back away. I'm going to swap to my elks so that when the adder does pelt on me, it's not really doing anything. Because if I stop to actually kill the adder, the ogre will be on me very much. The bear's no longer scary, but I'd rather just engage at a more choice opportunity. I'm going to back up. Ooh, so we're going to do a loop. I mean, honestly, this was not the ideal. I think I'm going to let him hit me. He won't enrage because I'm not attacking him yet. He'll just be a regular creature for a little bit. And then I'm going to bring the bear up, ice him down, and then do a different stair and engage the ogre in its own time. See, that was probably our most scary moment today, but it wasn't too bad. We have Endgame Frost. Simulacrum is Ice Elk. I always thought it was Ice Necro. Anyway, that's kind of funny. We might be going down a split pool then. But the fact that we have endgame Frost available to us, Earth Staff is relevant, might warp our choice. We're guaranteed endgame Necro. So I guess the positive is that we know we for sure will have endgame Ice available to us and endgame Necro. So there's no end scenario where it's like, oh, we didn't get the spells we wanted. And so we'll see how that evolves. I'm unsure of the synergy or lack of synergy, anti-synergy perhaps, of Necro's creatures getting in the way of me being able to cast ice spells. But we will have to take that one at a time. Yeah. The only other decision, like, this is crazy. I don't think I'm going to do this, but you could literally just say, screw Necro. Let's get more powerful. Then we abandon Kiku and then go for a different god. I suppose that's technically an option. But we're not there yet. There's a what is it called? Ossuary, the mummy tomb, sand is flowing situation. Oh yeah, it says ossuary here. I don't yet know if it's close or not. I'll wait for the next tick of notice. But I do really like ossuary. You get great scrolls and potions from it typically, which is kind of like the scrolls, you know, that's fine, but it's funny that it's very distant. Okay, so because it's very distant, I'm going to go up the stairs and then I'm going to go down a different stair. I don't think this is far enough away for it to change. Although this is less far. Though it's noting that I hear an avalanche of sand very nearby. So it must be this way. There you go. The reason why I said it was this way is because if this was nearby and my original was far, not a notable distance, then clearly going that direction should improve. Oh, this is a very tomb-themed little entrance. So we always have to take this slowly. Now we have freezing spells, which are very good for dealing with this kind of class of creature. I'm just going to learn some spells. But you have to be careful because of the alarms. You don't want to alarm the situation. So this is an unusual type of this ossuary, although or more so atypical, like it has RC as well. Oh, this is so unfortunate. So I just have to avoid its ground effect, I suppose. Do I have options? I guess I have like my whip of electricity. I'm gonna try. Actually, backing away doesn't necessarily do anything because there's no like perfect choke, and I would be letting it pelt on me for a few shots just to get a same choke. So I think I'm gonna Frozen Ramparts, and then I'm gonna swap to my Whip of Elec and try to kill what I can here. Okay, that worked out. I could have panicked and that could have gone bad, but it didn't. I'm going to work on the far side as well. I'm going to go back to my sling. Now this If I'm a pro player, I'm tracking the kinds of scrolls I'm picking up because it might weight my opinion on what scrolls are available. I'm gonna swap, kill the better ones. Like whatever that scroll was might be a better scroll, but now because this is an unusual situation, my typical math of like what I'm thinking is the ID scroll might have changed. There's a lot of noise scrolls here though. There's some benefit to having noise scrolls. Okay, I need to get around the corner very quickly here so that my alarm doesn't trigger. I'm gonna do it again. So you don't want to accidentally trigger an alarm. And I'm not going to go for these yet until I'm safe with the center. I'm going to create a little passageway here. I'm going to put some defenses up with my character. Very good. And so now I have all these scroll types and a few potions as well. And I mean, the chances of it being a, you know, an acquirement or a, I don't know, an XP potion, experience potion, are low, but not zero. I don't like phantoms. I don't have like a holy brand of anything right now. They're killable. They're just quite annoying. I don't love this situation. But it's not the worst. I have this area of effect that I have with my frost abilities. You both confused and invised. That's unfair. At most, you should be able to do one. We got a big open space here. Wish I would unconfuse. Oh, what was that? A ring mail of willpower. You see, it's not as good defensive, barely though, but you get a pip of willpower this early. This basically turns off all caster types against me for quite a few levels, because having one will in sub, 12 dungeon is aggressively powerful. And we can't be corroded. It's relevant, I guess. I think at this... Ooh. So this is where stealth is good. We didn't just immediately wake up things. But that's a very scary down. Ice beast is scary. I actually can probably even summon one myself, but um, where are we here? We're just casting our ice. We've got reasonable gold. We probably will be able to get these at least purchased by the end of 15, dungeon 15. Okay, I'm gonna try the other down. I mean, I could kill the ice beast, but I like at least. There's a drain nearby. So there, and also a funeral chant. Um, so we can have a sewer. To have both an ossuary and a sewer in the same game is very very unlikely, but beneficial. Now it said I was close to the sewer. I'm actually not sure how to best assess that. Now it's very distant now, so it might be closer this way. I'm going to try to kill this ice beast here. I'm going to swap. I'm going to build up my defenses. Okay. And let's, yep, here's the sewer here. So we have resist poison if I need it. And there's an exit. Okay, we've got the like underneath a city sewer format today, where it's like pipeline looking pathways around a square space. It's nice to have flying or swimming in this version, because there's usually a hidden little quadrant. Now I could have enlightenment and thereby the ability to fly over. The question is it worth it? Sometimes there's some nice stuff. They actually give you enlightenment here, which suggests that they there is something somewhere. Let me take one. Not here. honestly, there probably isn't anything because that center little part here is usually the end. So I don't think it's necessarily worth it to waste any more. Ooh, this is rough. Well, I'm certainly going to run away. There's no way I deal with this. So let's break some line of sight. Meg usually has a spell that makes you walk to her, mesmerize, but the line of sight will break it. So, yikes. Our goal is to get away. I'm just going to go down here. This here is killable. This is getting a little aggressive. I'm going to go on the far right side so that we create it all on one side of me. And then I'm going to this switch. I'm going to start quaffing. I've quaffed attraction. I'm going to establish healing potion. That's good. I'm going to take a healing potion. Healing potion. So good news, bad news. Good news is we lived. Bad news is we definitely drained our early game health potions. For sure. But we lived. I don't want to go back up that stair, of course. So we'll find this. I wanted to get both together, but it's unfortunate. We've abandoned our chances of getting our funeral, but the chances of that being relevant anyways were small. Let's get the Buddha out of there. This is a good little pickup spot because they're forced to not be beside me. But they are in range of my wall. I want the bottom guy to come up with me. I've been paralyzed. Get out of here. Yikes. I want to start IDing my potions, but or scrolls and thereby my potions, but I'm unsure, and I've already got this floor largely set up, and so I don't want to like waste a revelation on this specific floor. Oh, Rhyme Blade. Okay, this is the one I was thinking of. Ice Necro. It's an endgame-ish spell. Yeah, it's just a really interesting kind of endgame. So, like, I'm not afraid of going endgame Necro. It's just we clearly need to be mindful of their counter synergies. Let's get out of here. I can either go down or walk. I'm going down. Remember, I heal and get more mana as I explore. I really don't like the floor above us. And we've already started establishing our downstairs here. Let's kind of take this back. Be cool to get like a cold staff. Ooh, we got a little castle environment going on here. I think I'd be able to handle in the tunnel. Oof. That was bad. Spear freezing. Yikes. We're really not using our resources well today. Sometimes you get these weird dungeon situations. And you just gotta live. Oh, we got another one of these guys. Oh. Yeah, it's one of these little orcish little castle. It's not a vault, but it's still scary. Summon Ice Beast is almost ready. Our Necro, we're taking slow and sure. Our Animate Dead isn't really quite ready yet. I'm going to pump up the Necro now that we know we have Rime Blade. Or Rime Blight, sorry. In the future. Oh, we got a nice ring though. That's nice. Now I'm less afraid of upstairs, uh, which is crazy how there's 3 different named creatures up there. I may try to clear down here first. Let's get him moving and out of here. Hopefully he... Yep. Okay. Gotta be careful of that spear. Three of flaming. Yeah, that's a scary one. I'm gonna reset. He's got armor and some sort of weapon. Flail. I don't want to die at half health. I'm not going to explore to a different one. Yeah, it's a heavy. So our ice is developing well. Animate Dead is starting to get yellow. Because we have so much spell levels available, I'm going to grab a few things just to get us as options. I'm going to drop the spell casting. We have plenty of extra spell levels left right now for anything we'd ever want. I'm going to pump our armor up a little bit, our dodging up a little bit. Our stealth is going to be just what it is. I'm going to move the resist core off. I don't think I'll ever need another dex though. Cloak, shield. We haven't really got much else. I think boots is something. Boots, nope. All right. So I'm gonna start building into this space here. And I've got to remember I can now use the summon beast, which here you go, for example. The unfortunate part is I can't shoot through it. I'm going to switch to Elk. I'm going to quaff tea. Ooh. I don't know what my curing is. Well, that's ambrosia. Berserked. Oh no. This isn't gonna go well, guys. I'm gonna swap to a lek. And we died. And that's why you don't like not knowing your curing potions before you engage. Sometimes you get a bad order of things and you just die. What could have I done? First off, not engaged there. Could have ran. The risk with the running is I already had the smite guys on me. I might have just died running. That being said, engaging them guarantees they're going to get some shots off. So probably running still the best choice. To be fair, I didn't know specifically that this guy had what I assumed to be Kurari, though I did have some sort of annotation on him that might have been Kurari. What else? I could have worked on the named guys above, perhaps, although that would have been risky. Um, yeah. Overall, what would I improve? Um, Maybe I wouldn't have rushed into Kiku. Um, Perhaps I feel like Necro is a very tough start. Um, it feels like you're just always behind the curve, and also like you have to rebuild your characters every time you go onto a new animation floor, even if you're pure Necro from the start, which I find fairly difficult. Um, the actual like I'm attacking you spells of Necro have become much different than what they used to be. Um, and so it feels more like a support. I think, um, I mean, if I wanted to like guarantee we would have been streaking, I probably would have abandoned Frost immediately. Like game spawns, oh, I'm a nice elementalist. Well, the random game gave me this, but then switch to an axe. I'm a human. I can trade weapons. I can wear anything I want as long as I build up my strength. And then, call it a day. I'm an axe wielding human that's gonna, 3 rune. Um, but other than those lessons, we'll just have to learn for future games. So that's. Oh, and look, you always see this last little picture, and it's like, oh my god, I had 3 acquirement scrolls. Probably got those from the ossuary. I had an experience potion. It always, every time you die and you see all your potions, you always have acquirements and experience. But every time you actually go deep on a game and you actually use the potions and identify them, they never end up being acquirement or experience early. Anyway, okay. So that is that. Let's try another one. We don't give up. This is about learning.